Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins. They are the football kings, cause they play to win. Come on in and have some fun, whether we have lost or we have won. For all things Miami, it's Dolphins Thursday.
Hello, Miami Dolphin fans, and welcome to another edition of Dolphins Chatter, where all things Dolphins matter. Today it's Throwback Thursday. I got my old Dan Marino Hall of Fame shirt there, and wearing the old logo. So if you guys want to talk about some of the old-time Miami Dolphins, that'd be awesome. I'm flying solo once again, as both of my co-hosts are busy out there, but it's awesome to talk to all you super duper Miami Dolphin fans. So let's get on with some of the injury news first. Yesterday, the injury news came out, and so this is the Dolphins injured list. And it has Xavier Howard, just veterans rest, so no big Alec Ingle foot. He says he's okay, but evidently the local media reported he was in a walking boot as recently as Monday, but he told everyone he was fine. Braxton Berrios was limited, but he did practice. He had a knee issue, but he practiced. Tyreek Hill, veterans rest. Rob Jones, as I prefer to say, and that's what's on the list there because I prefer to be called Rob. He is, his 21-day window has opened as Nick Needham later down the list. So we will see they're both still listed on the injured list. Raheem Mozart, not injured, but another veteran's rest. Jalen Phillips, once again, with his oblique, and Jeff Wilson Jr. So there you have the Miami Dolphins injured list. Hopefully, some of them can play here in the near future, this week being the near future, and we get back to the business of having our good players on the field. Hey, RL. Welcome, RL. Happy to see you. I saw you right at the end of the show yesterday. I was like, I didn't even see RL comment. But thank you for joining earlier this morning. So I can say, as always, it's a pleasure to have you in here. So as far as the Dolphins this week, they got the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers, as we all know, have not won a football game. The Dolphins just have to take care of business, get themselves a 5-1. And then we'll worry about that Sunday night primetime game against the currently undefeated Eagles. So that's going to be a tough one. But let's beat this Panthers team. I, as a fan, am confident that the Dolphins should beat this Panthers team. I mean, if both teams play their best, the Dolphins win. The only way Panthers absolutely play their best and Dolphins maybe absolutely play their worst, you can see the worst case scenario playing out in this coming week. That's how confident I am with this coming week. I'll also be at the game, so maybe my confidence is a little inflated. But anyway, like I said, it's Throwback Thursday. It's any old-time Dolphins players you want to talk about. We can even do some trivia on the old days. We can do some Dan Marino trivia since I'm wearing his Dan Marino shirt. Or we can talk about the upcoming game. Good morning, Eric, and welcome. And guys, I probably make this an abbreviated show. Probably, I don't know. Who knows? Sometimes I get starting running and I'm surprised I lasted an hour by myself. But as you can see, I am flying solo. Hey, good morning, Steve. Welcome. And thank you for posting about my show. Thank you, Steve. He told people. And he's one of my normal hosts, but he's busy this morning. But thank you for coming in and giving me that thumbs up because I know you did, Steve. What I like to call the fins up. But anyway, and Steve's the one that sent me that injured list I just read off of. So he always keeps me updated on the injured players. I wanted to get a photo of Claypool up there because they interviewed him yesterday. He said some good, interesting stuff. He said he never felt like he was really a disgruntled player, but that, maybe he shouldn't have talked to the media about not getting playing time. But it's all good. He come in here with a new slate, and he's going to make the most of it, he says. So he's excited to come to the Dolphins. He will be wearing 83. I had originally saw reports he was going to be wearing 84, which reminded me of Bruce Hardy talking about Throwback Thursday. But now he's going to be 83. And I think most of us think of Mark Clayton. I mean, there's some other good 83s. I think Vin Denherter wore 83 back in the day. I would have to look that one up. But Mark Clayton is the one that um, pops up as 83 for me in my brain. So it'd be interested to see Claypool running around out there in 83. There's just some numbers in Dolphin history, no matter what, I just think of when I see like that number, like 84, for whatever reason, I always think of Bruce Hardy. When I see 83, always think of Mark Clayton. When I see 85, always think of Mark Duper. Obviously Dan Marino, but with 13, Jake Scott, he was great too, but he was a little before my time. So I think of Dan Marino, but Jake Scott creeps into my mind because I know he was actually a Super Bowl MVP wearing that 13. So that's pretty good. Hey, good morning, New Attitude. Hey, good morning, Shake Money. All you guys, awesome coming in here today. But yeah, so Claypool will be wearing number 83. So if he can have half the success, but he has a shorter session here, he's probably only going to be a one and done with the Dolphins because if he balls out here, he's going to get big money somewhere else, and we will see. So hopefully he gets some time. McDaniels, because there was speculation that maybe he can be tied in. McDaniel said he's a receiver, but he would never put limits on a player if, to line them up and give different players different roles, but he says, he's a receiver. So because there had been chatter talking about Dolphins chatter, what you're watching here today, there had been some chatter on the internet about, Claypool possibly being a tight end. You are right. You are right. Wes Welker also wore, and Wes Welker yesterday photos surfaced. He was actually getting it looked like Claypool up to speed on the offense. We all know from reports that the offense is complicated. So hopefully Claypool. I think they can get a couple plays designed for him and breaking him in slowly. I mean, this week as early as this week. No word on if he's going to be active, but they did not say he was not going to be. So we will probably have to wait till game time, like 90 minutes before game time, to see who's on the inactive and who's on the active. I, for one, would like to get them up and running because you probably only have them for this season. So you might as well try to get some use out of them. And of course, the bad news of the week is we lost Achan for a minimum of 4 weeks. That, to me, was a gut punch. Yes, we have Mozart who's balling out this year. Jeff Wilson eligible to come off the IR. His 21-day window has been open too to return to the active roster. And, Savon Ahmed, everyone, we were all saying he was going to be the number 2 running back until he got a little banged up. And then Achan filled in and kaboom. You can't, it's just like, hey, this kid was just dynamite out there. How can you not continue to play him? So then, we're okay at the running back position. It's just Achan bought that element. It's just like every time he touched the ball, you thought he was going to be gone. It's just that kind of, Tua even touched on that. That, some of the players you're almost surprised they're not gone on this Dolphins team when they get the ball. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking that Rod, even though he was just signed to the active roster, that his spot could be. I guess they're all safe until River. It's when River Craycraft and EZ and these guys start coming back. If they come back, that's we don't know. But if they come back off the injured list, that's when us, the spot could get really squeaky there at the receiver. The good thing is we're very deep at receiver, so I like that problem. Like, what good player do you have to get rid of? I mean, that's a good problem, instead of like, oh, which stinky player is barely going to make the team over the other stinky player. We got a good problem at the receiver spot. I wish we had that along the offensive line. I mean, though our offensive line is playing better this year, I still wish we had that much depth on the offensive line that we're worrying about maybe letting a star go on the offensive line. So that is a good point, though. Robbie Chosen. Yeah, that's why I'm thinking too. Maybe Scotty, but you and I've been on that bandwagon since the off season, and it hasn't happened yet. I thought maybe with a more team friendly contract now that some team would jump in on him, and they did play him this week. They did give Cedric Wilson some opportunities to show other teams. Yeah, he's still here. He's still alive and well. He's healthy. This is what he can do because now he hasn't even been returning punts since Braxton Berrios been on the team. So it's like he's almost a forgotten man. So I think they made a point early in the game on that very first drive. Cedric Wilson caught a pass, and they made some people catch that ball early to get everyone involved. So I was thinking that too. That's what I'm thinking too. Claypool may take the easy E spot, especially since we don't know what the neck injury really. It's just a mysterious injury, I guess, that he suffered, and not mysterious. It's a neck injury, but it's like didn't happen with the Dolphins. It's like a throwback. Talking about Throwback Thursday, it was an old injury from college that flared up, I guess, and they had to put him on there because he was just starting to get some play. So that was a little bit disappointing as well. I think with the secrecy around Easy and bringing in Claypool that quickly, I think Easy could be done. I agree. I agree, man. I agree. That's who I would think because I do believe that's the guy that would probably be the first off the roster of the ones. They could easily keep him on injured reserve all on the non-football whatever. I know there's different designation with him. It's like non-football in whatever. He's not able to play, unable to perform. All the same thing. At the end of the day, he can't play. So I agree they could keep him on that list. Still have him on the roster. See how it goes for next year. But that just keeps the spot open for someone like Claypool and stuff like that. Because you can only Scotty probably knows the exact numbers, but you can only make so many moves to bring someone off into reserve and into and we already got a couple of candidates because it looks like Robert Jones and Nick Needham and Jeff Wilson. That's going to be three moves of players coming off the injured list onto the regular roster. Yeah, the non-football doesn't adds to the issue. You're right, Scotty. So hopefully, but like I said, it's a good problem to have with our Dolphins. That there's a lot of talent at that position, and it's really cool. I'm gonna drop a link if anyone wants to join. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's like that's what I'm thinking. You only get like 6 or 8. Yeah, that's somewhere in that. Somewhere in that. There's only amount of moves, 6 or 8 moves to designate people to return during that season. I guess they do it in an effort to have teams from like stacking a roster with, putting someone on injured reserve because of the little pinky toe hurt, which can be a pain in the butt, by the way. We all know. So that little pinky toe hurts or whatever, and then oh, okay, that had been like their own secret way to build a roster, so they limit how much a team. I understand why. I just sometimes wish it wasn't because football is a tough sport, and I wish you could stack some guys like that. But I understand the reasoning behind it. They don't want people just making up designations for guys and then having their own, squad just to bring back when other people get banged up. So I get it. But let's just make good use of those moves. I know I really feel like Jeff Wilson will come back because with A Chan, I gotta. It's hard to unlearn stuff at my age. A Chan is he's done for 4 weeks at least. Hopefully he returns after that. So we do have a spot on the active roster for a running back. We have not filled that spot to the last I saw for A Chan going on the injured list. They haven't done a corresponding move to open up a spot unless it's come out since I hit the pillow last night and I didn't check this morning. And innings can be designated twice. Yes, I thank you, Scotty. So 8. So they got a lot, man. That's a lot. They're fine. They got because what I see maybe coming back, like I say, you definitely hope A Chan's one of them coming back. You want Jalen Ramsey. You want him coming back. You want Nick Needham, Robert Jones. Oh yeah, so yeah, you can get up there pretty quick. You can get up there pretty quick because you got River Craycraft that you want there. You could see where you could run out of those 8 moves pretty quickly. Because I just named a whole bunch right there that we would like to see probably come back. Oh, Armstead. Oh, how could I forget Armstead? So yeah, we got a lot right there, man. That should have done a list before the show, so I was prepared for this. But 8, man, I could think of 8 pretty quickly. At least I can think of 6. Let's see, Armstead, Craycraft, you would like to see. That's 2. Nick Needham, Ramsey. So yeah, there's 4 right there, and then all those other. No, you're right. I don't see EZ coming back either. Now that you start doing the math, even if he comes back as healthy, and I agree. with you. And like you said, with the mysterious around that injury, who knows? Is that just their way of filling up getting a roster spot without cutting him loose totally because they still have hope for the kid? Or is he? I don't know. It's like we will find out more in the coming weeks when all these moves start coming off. Yeah, definitely A Chan you're gonna have come back. That's for sure. You're gonna have A Chan hopefully for sooner than later, right at the 4 week minimum, hopefully. Then you got Armstead that you want back. So that's two. And then I want Nick Needham and Robert Jones, so that's four. And then Jeff Wilson's probably gonna come. That's five. So I mean, man, you get up that list pretty quick. And like I said, we all want Jalen Ramsey. That's the mysterious one that we don't know how long until Jalen Ramsey can come back. Yeah. Needham, Jones, Wilson, Armstead, Ramsey. Yeah, it's a lot easier when you write it out. Thank you. I'm here trying to count on the fingers. Thank you, Scotty. Needham, Jones, Wilson, Armstead, Ramsey, A Chan. God, I want to say A Chan and Craycraft is seven. So right there, yeah, and that's a good list right there. So yeah, that's why you said, and then you probably want another one. So hopefully, you want that one in the back pocket for later in the season if something happened. I did hear that too, and thank you, Blue Waves. You've been here recently a couple times. I appreciate that you found my channel. So a big fins up to you. You are what makes all you guys are what makes the show fun for me to do because I'm just here to talk about the Miami Dolphins, and that's it. That's it. Like I said, I love my throwback stuff. I love the current Dolphin stuff. In the draft time, I love talking about the future Dolphin stuff. So like I said, the Dolphin outside of my family and work commitments throughout life, my biggest loves are Miami Dolphins and fishing. Obviously, family ranks number one, and paying the bills, and of course, has to rank high. But outside of that, man, we could talk fishing and football all day. But obviously, I'm here to talk Miami Dolphins football because I am Dolphins thirsty on this channel. So it is awesome. But anyway, Ramsey is supposed. Yes, that is a good point. Ramsey is supposed to be hit a schedule that he's doing things, but of course we don't know from a football perspective. I'm hoping he comes back. They say he is a quick healer, and I know he's motivated to prove doctors wrong because some doctors got into the Twitter debate about his, and he took it personal. And I like that. I love that attitude he has. He wants to show people he can get back, but we want a healthy Ramsey. You don't want to rush back Ramsey that would come back for a game and it was too soon. So let's make sure he is ready to go because the schedule, gets tough. But right now, we just got to go game by game and let's just worry about his, towards the playoff run. It's when I would want Ramsey when the defense is going to need to step up, start playing well, and be a part of the reason we're winning instead of winning in spite of the defense. Because we're going to see will this week again, the Dolphins should win. And I know I hate being overconfident, but the Dolphins should win. We're going to get a better feel of how the defense stacks up when they go against the Eagles. Can they stop the Eagles? Because we all saw they couldn't basically stop the Buffalo Bills. So can they go up in Philadelphia? And yes, as fans, we can look ahead a little bit. McDaniel is only looking at the Panthers, so that we don't have to worry about that, guys. But that's going to be the next test. Can we go up? No, Dad Dean, another thank you, Dad Dean. You are also awesome. You are also come in here a couple times recently, so I appreciate a big fins up to you, Dad Dean. Let's see. Any word on when Needham and Robert Jones can play? No, other than that, their 21-day window is active, so they can come in that 21 days. They can be designated to return at any time. Of course, there's going to have to be a corresponding roster move to get them on the active roster. But yeah, I mean they're eligible at any time to pop in there at this point. And if they're not within that 21-day window, they're done for the season unless they reach some I don't know, there's some restricted, basically you're done for the season if you don't come back in that 21-day window. So hopefully I like Nick Needham. I know he's probably not going to come back 100%, But I like him. I think he's an improvement over some of the guys we have back there. A healthy Nick Needham. He's just another baller. I know he's kind of like compared to Cater Kohol because they're both undrafted, but that's who he reminds. He's just that he's a baller out there. He's It's not going to be from lack of effort. Kohu got beat, up and down the field by Diggs, but it wasn't from a lack of effort. Bad game planning, whatever you want to say. Having him on Diggs by himself a lot of times is crazy. But he's a baller. He's going to give his all. That's what Nick Needham. I like guys like that come in with a chip on their shoulder, prove themselves when everyone else doubted them. They didn't even get drafted. They come in and contribute to helping a football team win a game, which is the ultimate goal. Let's see. We might let Jones 21 days lapse and stats him. Yeah, that's possible too. That's another possibility because right now in the offensive line, because I don't think he would be a backup, and unless he can play center to replace Eichenberg, as the backup center, I don't know if Jones because that's where Eichenberg has the versatility, because he has all those positions that he can fill in on the back end. But because Jones is not probably now, if he hadn't gotten hurt, maybe he would have beaten out Wynn for that left guard spot or something. Because he's not going to beat out Hunt. So at the other guard spot. And if he's strictly a guard, he's not going to probably start over Wynn at this point. Like I said, definitely not Hunt. So I don't know. That's enough. But he is good depth. It's good to know he's there because injuries, unfortunately, are going to happen. You don't know where, you don't know when, but it's football. We all know more injuries are coming down the pike. Like none of us even knew the day after we beat the Giants. We all thought, oh, we got out of the game relatively injury free, only to find out Achan is out for 4 weeks at a minimum. So you never know when something's going to pop up. So there's going to be yes, I don't know. I yes for sure. That's it. But the only thing about Eichenberg is he's more versatile. Now, can Jones play center? I don't know. I don't remember seeing reports that he took snaps at center or whatever. That's where Eichenberg is just like the jack of all trades. He's played tackle, he's played guard, and he's played center. So that helps him. And the fact that they drafted him fairly highly and gave up another high draft pick to move up a few slots to get him is the reason Eichenberg is probably still on the team. But his versatility, I would give. That's what I would say. I won't say that, there's other motives to keep Eichenberg on the team because of draft status, but I think there might be. But I won't say it. But definitely his versatility is helping because injuries are going to happen. And in an emergency, he's played every position. He's played tackle, he's played guard, and he's played center. So they probably say, oh, Eichenberg can at least fill in during a game if someone gets hurt along the line. So hopefully Connor Williams, he missed practice yesterday, but it was for his groin. Oh my goodness, can't talk. So hopefully he returns because that's what but he was listed on the injury list last week and he played this past week. We all know he missed the Buffalo game and we all know we missed him. We can deal with some of his high snaps, low snaps, whatever from time to time, but at least he does the blocking assignments he's supposed to do. So that I like. I know. I don't know if he's really a jack of any trade, but he's not a master of none, that's for sure. But the fact that he can line up there and be a body, at those positions, I guess is his reason he's there. And I hate picking on players that wear the aqua and orange because in my team I love them. But yes, he's one of the ones that you're looking to replace all the time, but yet somehow he just keeps on making. Well, like to say, he's not even that old. Austin Jackson, hey, he's playing really well, and unfortunately, the Dolphins are probably going to lose him. He finally steps up, and now some team will probably give him a big contract next year to be a team starting right tackle because we did not pick up the 5th-year option on him, so he's going to be free to hit that free agent market. So right when he's probably starting to peak in his career, boom, we're gonna go. We're probably gonna end up losing him. And I'm not saying he's playing at an all-pro level or an elite level or anything, but he's been solid out there. He's been really good from all those guys like Scotty, all the guys that love watching all 22 for the most part say. I know Cal Krabs is saying that that's his most improved Dolphin player of the year so far. It's like the ones that like surprised him because he said he was like on his list of guys that they have to look at just replacement level player, and he says that Jackson's playing a little bit above a replacement level player right now. So no, that's enough. Yes, I am. Yes, I am, Michael K. Flying solo, but it's okay because I'm never flying solo when it's people like Scotty and you and Blue Wave and Eric Rivera and Dean Dad and Ender and all you and Blue Wave Odyssey. All you guys join and New Attitude. All you guys join. I'm never flying solo, so it makes it great. So we will see. Tonight's Thursday night game. How what I don't know. Do the Broncos keep the Chiefs under 50? That'd be my question. That's like the only enigma on that game. Do the Broncos keep the Chiefs under 50 tonight? I don't know. So that's going to be the only question in that game. What a bad game. But hey, it has to happen. You can't always have great games, but at least it means week 6 will kick off tonight. I don't even think they need to play Kelsey or whatever his name is, Mr. Commercial. The guy has more commercials than the Peyton Manning brother, the Manning brothers. So I don't know. Like, he's like all of a sudden everywhere. And I know it's crazy. It might be, man. Who knows what the Chiefs are going to put him on him. Now, if Kelsey sits out, then maybe they won't get all. But if he's playing, man, I don't know how the Broncos are going to stop the Chiefs. Resign, win, Hunt, AJ, let Connor walk for comp pick draft. Hey, there he is, pounding the drum, pounding the table again, beating the drum for Frazier. Once a week, I hear from Scotty on this kid, so I can't wait till I start reading about the draft in the off season. When that name pops up, I'm going to think of Scotty right away. So, Scotty, another thing I always think about you is Jalen Phillips. Hopefully, he returns to action as well, and he gets on because he's on the active roster, but yet he's missed. He could have been on the injury reserve almost at this point. He's missed some time, but hopefully he gets back to where he's healthy and he can play. I hope they're not looking at. They may give him one more week because they're going to. I don't want them to take the Panthers lightly, like I am as a fan, but they may look at it as, oh, we should be able to beat them. Panthers, just have them ready for the Eagles game. I don't know if they would never come out and say that, of course, in a million years, but I don't know if they think like that sometimes behind the scenes. Like, oh, we're going to win this game. Let's get Jalen one more week rested up. Hey, thank you, Shake Money. You're always. I love it, Shake. I was on your show for a little bit last night, and it's always fun watching the Finn's tailgate when Shake Money's at the helm. Let me see. Add Mahomes to the. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Man, my phone. I always forget to turn my silly phone off on these morning shows. But anyway, oh, oh my, and it says scam likely anyway. So who cares? I'm turning down the phone now, guys. But yeah, no, you're right, man. Mahomes is on. He's everywhere. Aaron Rodgers was everywhere for a while too. There's a lot of guys that have multiple commercials. It's just it's crazy. But it's just like all of a sudden I see Kelsey, and then all of a sudden, of course, he's like flirting, whatever you want to call it, dating, friends with the famous singer Taylor Swift or whatever. So, he's just like a media sensation right now. Hey, good morning, Adam. Another regular to the show. Thank you. And a big fins up to you. You always give me those thumbs up, and I appreciate it, Adam. So Cal Krabs, he came out yesterday and supposedly apologized. He said that I guess Dolphin fans drove him crazy this week because he was saying, "Oh, you don't like the Dolphins and you don't like this and that," and then he said, "I don't like." It was really a shot at Peter and the female host. I still want to say Kay Adams. I always forget the new female host, but he was saying that it's just more a shot at you guys for saying that you thought the Dolphins were rewriting the football playbook and whatever. So, but he said Dolphin fans, which I could probably believe because people are crazy on social media. He said Dolphin fans have been threatening me and my family that I'm crazy and I'm a horrible person. It's not against you guys. It was just against Peter. So I don't know if you guys saw all of that silliness yesterday on the NFL Network. But I always feel like Cal Crab. I don't care if someone likes the Dolphins, don't like the Dolphins. That's why I always have Michael K come join the show. I don't care. We're not all going to agree in football on what teams that we root for. And I mean, with on the same team, you're not even going to have all Dolphin fans won't agree that Tua's good, Tua's bad, Jalen Phillips is good, Jalen Phillips is bad. Whatever. It's just part of being a football fan. You're going to have your disagreements. It's like anything else. But it's still good to be a Miami Dolphin fan this year. I think we can all agree on that. So this game moving forward, big thing is you just want the Dolphins to try to avoid the injury bug. I mean, it's really hard to do. It's impossible to do. But man, we got to escape some games because slowly they're going down. But if you look around the league, there's a lot. Justin Jefferson's just been out with the Vikings. Obviously, the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers 4 plays into the season. So it's been a brutal year, for some of the stars going down. So it's going to happen every time. And the poor kid in Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson, who I think was a little bit overdrafted, who's an okay player, maybe long term, but I watched most of his games at University of Florida since my money goes to the University of Florida. And I thought Anthony Richardson was a bit overdrafted. Has all the physical tools and everything, and he could prove well, but he's gotten banged up the first, so we can't really get a fair evaluation on him. So I'm not going to pick on him, but it just shows how tough the league can be. Hello, let's see, Dad Edward Ripley. Oops, sorry, I forgot to take out the dad. No worry, Dad or Edward Ripley of Ripley's Believe It or Not. It doesn't matter. I'm just happy that you're here because all things Dolphins are when we're here in Dolphins Chatter. It is good to have you join the show. And let me see. I think you're at least that's the first time using that name, right? I think at least. So I got to give you a little. So welcome to the room. Thank you for joining us. And let's see. I don't worry about first word. Yeah, hey, I agree, Shake. It's all it's all good. All you guys in here. Yes, I agree, Scotty. And then, and I know I'm 100% with Scotty, and he's 100% with me. We don't want to see injuries to any team, any player at any time. But when they do get hurt, it's your team's advantage to take advantage of their disadvantage. And that's just the cruel rule of football because no one was singing the swan song for the Dolphins last year when we walked into Buffalo during the playoff game with backups and all of that. Hey, good morning. Welcome back. Newfoundland, another great Fins Up fan in here all of the time is awesome. Awesome to have you back. So that's it. You are 100% losing Milano and White changes Buffalo season. It's just this cold fact of football. We all get injuries. It all stinks. We all remember Dan Marino blowing it. Well, I say we all the people that are at least my age or older all remember when Dan Marino went out with an Achilles. It definitely changes his season. I mean, we stayed winning that way for a little bit until Thanksgiving, and then I don't know what the heck happened. But anyway, that's for another day. But it is Throwback Thursday. So, like I said, if any of you guys want any trivia from the old day and see how great your trivia knowledge is, we can throw some questions out there. I know Blue Wave. I think we were all expecting this Vic Fangio to come in here and have our defense humming from the start. It's been a little slow. I'm still holding out hope that eventually it will take hold and they will start playing better. Because what happens is when you change coordinators and it just acts like the Dolphins just changing head coaches every 3 or 4, you finally get players that are used to that system, you draft players that are used to that system, sign players that are used to that system, and then boom, you change you change again. New season comes, new defensive coach. He does such definitely does different defense in the Brian Flores defense and the Boyer defense, where he's not as blitz crazy. Players that are made for that style defense. So now you got to have guys step up in this one. And hey, yes, Fins Talk Sports Network. Guys, that's another great network over there. Make sure you go check them out. They're all things Fins. Well, they cover everything, but they have a lot of great Miami Dolphins show. The best one, and even Evan Posner will agree with this. The best Dolphin show is 7:30 on Tuesday nights. Real talk, Fins Talk, an unbiased view. Not really unbiased at all. I'm on it with Steve Malloy, but hey, it's the best show. And Evan Posner would say, yes, I agree. So anyway, and Eric Rivera says, yeah, Scott Mitchell and DeBerg moments were, yeah, they were. We had some decent moments in that season. We had decent moments in that season after Dan Marino got hurt. It all went downhill, though, unfortunately, after that Thanksgiving Day game where Leon Lett helped the Dolphins. And I really did. I said it on yesterday's show. But when we won that game, I was I was just thinking, oh my God, just never happens to the Dolphins. We are going to be good. This is finally, we got some lucky play and it's going to move. This is going to be the season that the Dolphins finally win. Marino gets something, and we never won another game. So I never. That's why I think that season always pops in my mind when I start getting excited about the Dolphins. And once again, this year, I'm starting to get excited about the Dolphins. I already put the Buffalo game out of my mind. I think that might actually make them better, stronger in the future. They know not to, count their chickens yet, and let's move forward. Now, if we get blown out in the Philadelphia game, that I'm going to start getting worried, but I'm not that worried right now. You can't go getting blown out by every good football team you play. So let's see. But this week, I'm going to meet Bobby of the Fins Talk Sports Network. Going to meet Evan of the Fins Talk Sports Network, and I'm going to meet Hank of Fish Tank. He's Nick Fame, and he's also of the Fins Talk Sports Network and has been on my show a couple times here as well. So I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun, and I can't wait, Bobby. If you're still listening, make sure you give that thumbs up, thumbs up. But anyway, guys, yeah, but you're right, man. Scott Mitchell. Can you imagine in today's age? Because back then, Eric, there was people calling, oh, the Dolphins should trade Dan Marino and keep Scott Mitchell. And if it was in social media, I probably would have been a lot more, because that just had to be back in the day when you would call like Jim Mad Dog Mandich and say, hey, Mad Dog, I think the Dolphins should trade, or Hank Goldberg or Joe Roseman, who's still going today. And, all these guys that had their talk shows and the Big O and all that, people would call in saying the Dolphins should trade. I'm like, man, in social media, I'm happy those days were before social media days, because you can imagine people would have been saying, oh, Marino threw an interception. He's no good. So it's funny. Or they would talk about him not winning a Super Bowl or whatever. So I'm happy his career wasn't during the social media days. So it would have been crazy. People calling for trade talk for Dan Marino. Give me a break. Come on, man. Scott Mitchell. And people wanted Don Shula, and I cried. That's the only time. I've only was sad 2 times when people left the Miami Dolphins. When Don Shula had to step down, I was sad, and when Danny Boyd left, I was sad. Those are the only 2 Dolphin players that got me down when they left. And yes, I was around for the Jason Taylor days and the Zach Thomas days and all that. But it's just, wasn't the same, because I was like really young back when Marino. I was like 13 years old when Dan Marino got drafted. And I went running down the street. And that's when drafts were on Tuesdays. That's how well I remember this. That the draft was started on a Tuesday morning and went until late Tuesday night, because they had like 12 rounds. And the Dolphins got Dan Marino, and I went screaming down, we got Dan Marino, we got Dan Marino. And yes, my cool mom, who watches this show still, thank you, Mom, when you give it the thumbs up later, she used to let me skip school on Tuesdays to watch the NFL draft. So I got a cool mom to this day. I would skip school to watch the NFL draft on Tuesdays. And I was a nerd. That was my big skip day. I didn't skip all the other days like people did, and what have you. So, but I did skip every NFL draft Tuesday. I was a nerd. I had the big Mel Kiper book at young age, and Lad guys and the Bush Bomb book, all this nerd stuff. I loved my draft back in the day. So hopefully the Dolphins get so good where I don't have to worry about the draft anymore, because I just know we're going to nail it. Be like, a team that nails the draft all the time. But that day's never come, really. But when we got Marino, I was so excited. To me, it hurt more when it went out the way. Yeah, I know. I know that Jacksonville game, yes, it sucked. It was a horrible way to end a career, and it sucked. And I was very disappointed too. But just to see, though, when he left, and one of those local TV stations, because I still live here in South Florida. I'm a rare commodity, born and raised in South Florida, and actually stayed my whole life. Eventually, after complete retirement and my son being done with his senior year, my other son's already up in Gainesville. Maybe I'll move somewhere else, but I'm going to stay in the Sunshine State. I like the no income tax, so I'm staying in my Sunshine State, and I love fishing and I love the Dolphins, so I have to be near, but maybe somewhere else. But the whole point is, yes, I've been here forever, the Dolphins, and the local stations played that Danny Boy song, like Danny Boy. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna make me cry as a grown man. I was already a grown man by that point, but I was like, oh my goodness, guys, come on, don't make tears come out because Dan Marino's retiring. But and when Don Shula, and I understand a lot of fans wanted, and I did have hope. I didn't want Don Shula gone, but once they brought in Jimmy Johnson, I was saying, okay, maybe he would get us over the hurdle. But as you guys know, as the story unfolded, he never got us over the hurdle. Best thing Jimmy Johnson did was for the Dolphins was drafting Jason Taylor and Zach Thomas. Gave us some good defensive football over the years because of those draft picks. But where he messed up in the draft is the year Randy Moss came out. The Dolphins traded down. Randy Moss ended up falling down in the draft and would have been available at the Dolphins' original draft spot. But Jimmy Johnson never thought, he years later said that's the guy he thought was the best player in the draft, but he never thought that Randy Moss would fall to where the Dolphins had been. So why he traded before all the teams were on the clock, I don't know. But that was a epic fail, because if you would have teamed up Dan Marino with Randy Moss, even at the end of Dan Marino's career, I think that may have pushed us over and maybe got something. But didn't happen. But it's just that was one of the disappointing moves of the past. I know I'm dating myself there, and a lot of you guys may have not even remember that. Yes, rest in peace, Jim Mandich, for sure. He was so much fun to listen to. I miss him, man. He's got me. He is just so much fun. Yeah. Hey, from Naples. I love that area. That area has grown up so much, though. But I love that area. I used to think that's where I would retire because it was affordable. Now this is more expensive than in the South. I mean, it's crazy, man. The population boom in the Marco Island, North Naples, Fort Myers, South, all that Southwest Florida area just exploded. And I know, and I, my condolences to some of the Fort Myers area. I know they got hit by the Hurricane Ian, but still, it's just the population there just went boom, crazy, man. I can't believe, and the house prices went insane, man. It's crazy over there. And but the fishing is great. I love the fishing of Southwest Florida. I love getting up in those mangroves and catching snook and some redfish. And I mean, man, it's awesome, man. That's paradise to me. That fishing over there, man, because you could be in the middle of being in South Florida, a million people surrounding you, but man, you get lost in those mangroves and you just fish and you feel like you're 70 years ago before it was overpopulated. It's so much fun over there. I know that would have been kind of cool too, and I would have rooted for him. He's the one Dolphin I would have rooted for outside. I never root against ex Dolphins, but I would never root for them because they're not wearing the aqua and orange. But Dan Marino, I would have made as the one exception. I would have loved if he could have gone to Minnesota and won a Super Bowl over there and have that ring, so there'd be no talk about him. He's the greatest, but and that's what's always talked about with Dan Marino. To me, he is the greatest, but there's always going to be that but. But he never won a Super Bowl. It is what it is. He never won a Super Bowl, but man, he gave me so many great memories and so much fun watching them have shootouts against the Jets. Even though they lost some of those shootouts, they won some of those shootouts. Seeing them throw the ball around the field, and that's why, who was it? Newfoundland. There, Newfoundland said it. I stopped getting sighting years ago, but last season changed that one again. This team and coach different. Well said. That's what I've been saying, Newfoundland. That's why you're one of my favorites in here, because that's exactly how I feel. It actually brings me back. And I would never compare Tua to Marino. So guys don't say, oh my God, Dolphins thirsty. No, they're not even in the same neighborhood as far as skill level. They're different. Tua can do it, and he can do it at a high level. Marino is just, that elite everything. So I'm not saying that. but just the way they just me kind of this team reminds me of Duper throwing to Mark Clayton and Mark Duper with a little Nat Moore thrown in there and a little Bruce Hardy, Joe Rose action here and there. And so it just reminds me of that team. And a little better because we have the running element, which those Dolphins teams never had. That's why I really miss Achan more than a lot of people probably. I mean, all Dolphin fans miss him. But to me, Mozart's good too, though. He can take it to the house. But there's that little guy, that little scat back that just boom. It's like, man, if Marino would have had those guys at an Achan type and then whatever, oh my God, that would have been like saying, like, we had, like the rumors that the Dolphins were trying to get Barry Sanders back in the day. If we would have ever been able to pull that off, God, that would have been miraculous. I don't even know how true those rumors are. But if it would have been, man, can you imagine that? That's what we need. That's what Dan Marino. Oh yes, Jim Krass Jensen, number 11. When I speak of number 11s, yes, some people would say Devontae Parker, or I don't think many people would say Cedric Wills. I think of Jim Jensen to this day. He's one of those numbers. When I see 11, I think of Jim Krass Jensen out of University of Boston. Great player, just so much fun to watch. And it's just, oh man, he was a jack of all trades, Scotty. That guy was like a jack of all trades. He could line up as a receiver, tight end, and he was drafted as a quarterback, but man, he played special teams where he got the nickname Kraus because he would just go running down there and bam, man, and you wouldn't expect it from him, but it's just wow. It's like he's a classic. You can't judge a book by the cover. He is just one tough son of a gun. He is good. Hey, oh, I agree, man. Now we're getting some really good names, man. Reggie Roby was I'm number 4. Used to wear his watch on his wrist. May he rest in peace. He passed away before his time. But man, what a punter he was, man. I think some of his punts are still floating around up there, man. He was special to watch. He was just for a punter. I know people are probably saying Dolphin Thursday, he was just a punter. But if you go back and you watch Reggie Roby punt, man, you could hear it. We would get to the stadium early, and we would hear just the boom off his foot, man. It's like pop, like the crack of a baseball bat. It used to be like a ball popping off the foot of Reggie Roby, man. Those were the days. Hey, yes, is you know Jimmy Suffalo was great. Number 81, who out of Penn State, just like OJ McDuffie, number 81 out of Penn State. Obviously, OJ McDuffie had a little bit better of a football career, but Jim Jimmy Suffalo caught a long touchdown pass in a Super Bowl from David Woodley. And yes, we lost the Super Bowl, I know, to the then Washington Redskins. But he caught, like, I think it was like a 70-yard something touchdown pass Jimmy Suffalo did. It was long, and I was thinking, we're going to win. That's the same Super Bowl that Fulton Walker, the one Dolphin that I really got to meet on a personal level way back in the day, may he rest in peace. Some of these players go too soon. But yeah, Fulton Walker, number 41, out of Scotty, if you're still in here, out of West Virginia. He returned a Super Bowl kickoff after the Redskins obviously had scored. It wasn't an opening kickoff of a half. It was like right towards it. And he, after the Redskins got a touchdown, Fulton Walker took it 98 yards to the house. And I thought the Dolphins were going to win a Super Bowl. And they did not win a Super Bowl. Dan Marino, a couple of years later, I thought we were going to win the Super Bowl. 49ers gave us a dose of our own medicine. It was the first time the Dolphins didn't have a high-flying, dynamic offense, and we got beat by the 49ers. But other than that, hey, it's still been great to be a Dolphin fan, so I can't complain. Let's see. Do you think Brooks will get? I think he might. I hope he does, Dad Dean. Do you think Brooks will have carries this weekend? Good question. I hope he does, man. I really do, because the kid has shown out there. Because against the Broncos, he got some carries, but of course, maybe some of us could have. Well, not me, but maybe some of you younger guys out there could have ran the ball against that Broncos team at that point in the game. But he had some nice carries in that game. And this past week, he did some pancake blocks. Everyone that breaks down the film said he did some, great pancake block. So and I did see one of the ones that they focused on and they showed it and they showed him leveling this big dude. So I hope Brooks gets some play, especially now with Achan not being there, and he will be on the active roster, the Brooks kid, probably because he plays special teams and of what he's been doing in the blocking. I do expect Ahmed to get more carries. He's back to practicing and everything. So I do expect him to get now and step up. Because remember, we were all talking about Ahmed and Moser. I like HN the minute we drafted him because my buddy Justin, who reads all about the drafts to this day, I mean, not reads, he scouts all these players. He was telling me that Achan's a special player. So I was a little excited when the Dolphins drafted him. But, he was still a rookie, so we didn't know what to expect. So we were all expecting Ahmed. And then he got a little banged up. Achan stepped in, and then, the rest is history. He was playing great, but now he's injured. So now Ahmed's probably going to step up. But yes, I think there's room to get some Brooks, some carries. I would like to think so. This would be the week to do it, like you say, just like we did against the Broncos. Once you get a big lead, why not pound the rock? Hey, good morning, Anthony. Always great to have you in here, Anthony. Oh yeah. Someone did mention that earlier. Were you the same one, Dad Dean? I got so when I start talking about old time Dolphins, I get carried away. Yeah, Dad Dean, you're the one that mentioned the fake spike. Yeah, that was great. Came against the Jets too, which makes it a little bit sweeter. And that was a great play. Others have since copied. We even had it done against us, by the Packers a couple years ago. But hey, it's good. Oh, Miss Fins, I missed your show this morning. I had a lot to do. But Miss Fins is a great show, guys. You guys probably all know her. She's up over 1,000 subscriber. Congratulations once again, Miss Fins. And you can catch her, as what her name says right there, Miss Fins. Make sure you go tackle that subscribe button after we're done talking today. Yes, Mark Ingram is the correct answer. He is the one that caught the fake spike to close out that play. So you are 100% right. Trivia Thursday. Yes, I can throw some Dan Marino trivia up there from my website or I can throw a whole bunch up there if you guys want some questions before we close out the show today. Let me go over there. Let me go to my Dolphin Thirsty, not to do self promotion here, but dolphinthirsty.com. I'm going to go do some Dan Marino trivia. Just let me get it going here. Man, I got a lot of trivia, guys. You got to go check out my Dan Marino, but I can't find the Dan Marino one. Go figure. As I'm here promoting it. There it is, Dan Marino trivia. Just give me 1 minute. Oh, Blackwood Brothers, man. You're welcome, Miss Fins. You are welcome. Miss Fins is doing recon for Edward. You guys are all too much fun. You guys all know each other. I love it, man. That's what makes this Dolphins Dolphin fandom so great. We all stick together. We all help out each other shows. It's not competition. It's all a family of trying to help grow together. That's what we're all here to do. That's why I like it because in so many other lanes are like, oh, I don't want that guy to get known because he's going to take away from my views. No, we just all help each other get views. That's what we're here to do. Because Miss Fins with 1,000 subscribers could easily avoid little 400 something Dolphins Thursday. No, she's out here helping me. And the Fins tailgate, they even got tons of subscribers. So does the Fins Talk Sports Network. But we all help each other out and make things fun. And I love that. And yes, guys, I'm looking for my Dan Marino trivia. Let's see. This is on dolphinsthirsty.com. Give me 1 second there. I'm going to make it full screen so you guys can see it. Let's see. Full screen. Tell me if you guys can see it because I have to go out of this page. Normally I have a co-host when I'm doing this, so I got to go to my Dan Marino page again now. Let's see. I'm going to go back real quick to see if it's working. Okay, it's working. It is working. So that's good to know. So Dan Marino was a first round pick in what year? Was it 1984, 1982, 1981, or 1983? So what year was Dan Marino a first round pick? Well, we We got an 84. We got an 83. Any other? We're going to go. I'm telling you, it looks like Ender might be a winner chicken dinner. It feels like he might be a winner chicken dinner. It won't answer it yet because we got to go through them all. But Dan Marino was a first round pick in 1983. Dan Marino, well, I already gave this answer away today, guys. Dan Marino was the first and only player to wear number 13 for the Miami Dolphins. True or false? I already gave that answer away, Big Mouth Rob. So, true or false? And Ender with the no. So, he was not. So, that is a false from Ender. So, he was not the first player. So, a false. Here we go. How many touchdown passes did Dan Marino throw in 1984? Was it 51? Was it 46? Was it 48? Was it 44? How many touchdown passes did Dan Marino throw in 1984? Was it 51, 46, 48, 44? No, we don't have the right answer yet. We don't have the right answer yet. We got some close. We got some close. We got some close ones. Eric Rivera, bingo, bingo, winner, chicken dinner. And I know that's someone else's catchphrase. Don't mean to steal, but I can't think of anything that rhymes right now. So, yes, it was 48. Let's see. Go back to my Dan Marino. Wait, I got way too many windows open here. Let's see. Dan Marino, it was 48. And it would tell us this one, all you guys will probably get. Dan Marino attended which college university? Was it Penn State? Was it Pittsburgh? Was it Boston College? Or was it Notre Dame? Dan Marino attended which college? Pick. Like I said, bingo, bingo, winner. All you guys are champs. And there is no doubt he went to Pittsburgh. How many career touchdown passes did Dan Marino throw? Was it 413? Was it 400? Was it 429? Or was it 420? How many career TD passes did Dan Marino throw? Was it 413, 400, 429, or how many? Boom, but man, Ender must have read up on his Dan Marino trivia because he is killing this so far. A lot of you guys are, but let's see. How many passing yards did Dan Marino have in his career? How many passing yards did Dan Marino have in his career? That's a lot. I'm going to read the numbers here real quick again, but that's a lot because the numbers are a lot bigger. I gotta read them like I'm horrible at reading big numbers, but I can round up here. Give me 1 second. How many was it? 61,361, 55,130, 58,082. See, I'm horrible at reading numbers. And then the other ones were easy up until that one. And then 64,551. So how many career passing yards did Dan Marino have? Let's see. I don't see a right. Oh, wait. Let's see. Blue Wave. Blue Wave is the closest. That's, I think, the answer. He knows what that means. So, yes, let me go over there and answer. Boom. 61. That's going to be the correct answer, people. 61,361. And let's see. I got Oh, we got one more, I think. Oh, no, man. I did 8 questions for Dan. Normally, I only do 7. After the Super Bowl against the 49ers, what product did Marino advertise along with Joe Montana? A little fun stuff here. Was it Coke? Was it Ford F-150? Was it Diet Pepsi? Or was it Isotoner gloves? After the Super Bowl against the 49ers, what product did Dan Marino advertise along with Joe Montana? Was it Coke, Ford F-150, Diet Pepsi, or Isotoner gloves? Boom, 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 boom. Man, Ender is right. Once again, it was Diet Pepsi. Yes, I threw that isotoner gloves in there to mess people up because we all knew Dan Marino had that. But Dan Marino had a commercial with Joe Montana, where Joe Montana bought him a Diet Pepsi, and then Dan takes it, but he goes, Joe, next year I'm buying. Unfortunately, next year never came, but hey, it was the Diet Pepsi. So Ender is drinking the Kool-Aid of Dan Marino today. I mean, no, that was Diet Pepsi there. You know, Dan Marino, this is a little bit other. I always like throwing one question that's kind of related to another football. Dan Marino was inducted into the Hall of Fame the same year as Joe Montana, John Elway, Steve Young, and or Eric Dickerson. I was at this Hall of Fame. I went to the Dan Marino. That's where I got the shirt I'm wearing today. Joe Montana. Joe Montana, John Elway, Steve Young, Eric Dickerson. Which one of these players was inducted the same year as Dan Marino? That's a hard one because it's not really a Dolphin related question, but it's kind of is because it's with Dan Marino. And no, the answer here, guys, I don't see the answer yet. It's someone that you probably won't think of. It's not Montana. And I will tell you, it's not John Elway. It is Steve Young. That's the answer. So let's finish this quiz here. I should have an 8 for 8, and I do. 8 for 8. And there you go. So to go over real quick, Dan Marino was a first round pick in what year? 1983. Dan Marino was the only player to wear 13. Bonk, Foss, Jake Scott wore it before him and won a Super Bowl MVP in it. How many TD passes did Marino throw in 1984? It was 48, a then NFL record, which has since been broken. Dan Marino attended which college university? You guys all know that one. He went to Pitt. How many career TD passes did Dan Marino throw? 420. And a lot of people that like to have another little recreational hobby, which I never did, remember that number because of the number 420. How many passing yards did Marino have in his career? He had 61,361. And after the Super Bowl, he had a Diet Pepsi commercial with Joe Montana based on the 49ers winning the Super Bowl. There's rumors that they had shot both, one with Dan Marino buying it and one with Joe Montana buying it because it was shot before the Super Bowl. But so they shot it quickly, and unfortunately, our version never got out there. Dan Marino was inducted into the Hall of Fame the same year as Steve Young. And that wraps up our Dolphins trivia for Throwback. But yeah, that was some fun stuff, guys. Let me stop the screen and but anyway, guys, hey, you are right, Diet Pepsi. Hey, I know, but it was a fun commercial, man. Oh, hey, Pam, I didn't even see you sneak into the room. Thank you, Pam. I was in that other room doing the like I say, when you fly solo, it's not as easy to do like go to another screen. I don't see what you guys are saying. I have to go back and forth to see answers and stuff. So welcome, Pam. But hey, once again, I said it was going to be an abbreviated show, and I've made it to an hour running solo by myself. Well, I'm lying. I'm with you guys. I'm not flying solo. I'm with the great Dolphin fans that came into this room today. All of you guys rock. Too many of you to name. Pam, hello for sure. Scotty, always welcome. Yes. Oh, guys, I will be on with Bearded Fanatic tonight on his show on the spell out your name again. It's Battered. I always want to say Bearded Fanatic because that's what you're in here as. You always throw me that curveball. But he's on the Battered Fin fans, I believe. And I will be tonight, 8 p.m. with him. It should be a fun time in his show. I'm looking forward to it. And I can't wait. It's good old stuff. Hey, thank you, Ender, man. You guys all rock. And like I said, for me to run now, but it's been fun. And I will always drop links for you guys to join. You make it great. Right there, guys. Go check this out. I know I've given you a few tasks to do. You got to go check out Miss Fins, but go check out these guys, Battered Fin fans. They run a great show. I will be on them tonight at 8 p.m. They've been gracious enough to invite me on their show. So I'll be rolling with them tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Should be a great time. Man, he's a great Dolphins fan. He even has yes, you may not want to hear this, but he has a good buddy that likes the Jets. But he's a classy Jets fan. Yes, you can say those two terms in the word together. You can say classy and New York Jets together because his guy is a classy New York Jets fan, and it's great. So, guys, thank you, Dad Dean. If any of you haven't happened to subscribe yet to my channel, please do, or tell some others because I'm just here to talk Dolphins and all of that. And real quick, guys, if you're ever going to buy something on Fanatics, you can go to dolphinthursday.com and hit my shop. It's just an affiliate link. Helps my site just a little bit. I get a small little thread of the profit if you buy something, if you're going to buy something on Fanatics anyway. Even if you don't click on, and it's, the links in my description here. And same for Blackout Coffee. If you buy Blackout Coffee, click on my link there. Great tasting coffee, and you use the discount code Thirsty. That's all it is. It's affiliate links. I do get a little bit commission, full disclosure, but it's all fun. It's all awesome. So yes, there is one classy Jets fan we know for sure. Manny found him, unearthed him, and he is a gem. And the Jets are the one team I like the least. I would tell you that. And that's just being a biased, stubborn old fart at this point. But the Jets are my least favorite team of all the teams in football. I mean, yes, even more so than the Bills, more so than the Patriots. The Jets eke out, and then the Cowboys in the NFC is the other one that qualifies. But the Jets, for silly reasons, I've always not liked the Jets. Dwight Stevenson's a better person than me because that's one of the reasons I don't like the Jets is because they did a dirty shot on Dwight Stevenson back in the day, and then Pete Carroll doing the choke job against Pete Stoyanovich, who came back in that very same game and kicked the game-winning field goal. But to that day, that's the reason I hate the Jets. Yes, maybe petty, but I just don't like the Jets because of that. Those silly reasons. To this day, I don't like the Jets, and that's how it goes. But anyway, guys, fins up, battered fin fans. I will be right there, guys. Check them out. Hey, Dad Dean, you're awesome. Thank you. I agree. Thursday Jets suck. They do, and Manny agrees too. But he does have a cool guy. Go check out the show tonight. Battered fin fans, come say hi to me and Manny and his Jets fan. Manny, if you're still in here, you can say your Jet fan's name. His name's escaping me right now. But he's good. I watch your show. They're awesome. They're a great time. All right, guys. Yes, I agree. I would be on that bandwagon. I know 100% Pam would be on that bandwagon. Richmond Webb. She's been on a couple shows with Richmond Webb in the past. Richmond Webb deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. We finally got Zach Thomas in there. It's time to get Richmond Webb in the Hall of Fame. Number 78 out of Texas A&M. Definitely deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He took on Bruce Smith. He held his own against Bruce Smith a lot of those games. And beat Bruce Smith a lot of those games. And he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why he's not. His resume speaks for itself. Get Richmond Webb in the Hall of Fame. I agree. I 100%. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for bringing that up. Heath Stewart. I should say that every day until he gets into the Hall of Fame. Get number 78 of the Miami Dolphins, Richmond Webb, picking from Texas A&M. Protected Danny Boy's blind side for many years. Get that man in the Hall of Fame. He deserves it. So thank you. That's what we're going to end this great show today, saying Richmond Webb for the Hall of Fame. He deserves it. He should be in there. And that's how I feel and will always feel. Anyway, guys, Dolphins number 1. Hit that thumbs up on the way out, which I will always call the fins up here on Dolphins Thursday. Later, and come join the fun tonight, 8 p.m. on the Battered Fin Fans.
Dolphins thirsty, they never show no mercy. On the field or in the game, Miami knows how to play. Dolphins thirsty, we all get down and dirty. Tell you what you wanna know, it's the Dolphins Show. Quench your thirst for all things Miami Dolphins.